Do you think the Drake and Kendrick beef fractured hip hop?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need Drake. Drake, when Drake was around, like when he was at the #1 spot, hip hop was still exciting. When Drake, after the
I love Drake.
when Drake was doing his tour and lighting up the city and everything, it was lit.
Yeah.
Nobody can light up the city. I just said on other shit with Lord Sco, I said this shit is boring.
What?
Nobody's excited. Kendrick
Bro,
is
what are
a
you
great
talking about,
rapper.
man?
He's dope, but he's not bringing the excitement to it. He's bringing the creativity to it. Drake was outside with the whores. He was all over the place. He's mixing and merging with everybody.
Let me show you
know what I'm saying?
Drake could affect culture just by his gambling slip.
Oh,
Yeah.
brother,
I bet $2 million on the Chiefs.
The gambling shit is crazy to me.
Just think about that. Just his gambling
He was adding excitement to it.
Yes.
Think about this, Drake. He would host awards in NBA weekends, stuff like that. We don't have another artist in hip hop that can do
the
that.
Raptors would be on television because Drake would be sitting
It's
front row.
He's sitting on the sideline.
Yes.
He's bringing something. He's bringing a pulse to the culture. He added excitement to the
But what
culture.
do you think
So I guess there's this new idea that people are saying that hip hop is boring now because one specific artist isn't doing what he did before. I'm not really understanding that because if I'm not mistaken, Drake has dropped a lot of music since 2024 and he had 100 gigs. He had some sexy songs for you. He has these 2 Iceman releases, a whole bunch of other snippets he's teased. I'm not really understanding why you're saying hip hop is boring though. That's the one thing I'm not really getting because hip hop has been extremely grateful to us this year. We've had so many releases and there's so many more coming. Alfredo 2, we had Let God Sort Him Out. We had Tyler Creator's Don't Tap That Glass. Ghostface Killah, Little Sims. It's just such a great time for hip hop right now. And it's ironic that I see a lot of these podcasts and pages that are saying these things are more favored to just one artist. And they're not covering these albums. They're not talking about the wide spectrum of releases that have come out and that are supposed to be coming out this year. So it's just this idea that because Drake, for whatever reason, isn't getting the Summer 16 or the 2018 summer wave that he had previously, for whatever reason to you guys, it just seems that the whole genre is boring. And mind you, Kendrick hasn't put out an album since 2024. He's going off of 2024 music. He hasn't even dropped no music solo in 2025. He's done some features, obviously, but even those songs were recorded last year. So he hasn't even put out anything new yet, right? So he's just going off the strength of his album from last year. So the idea that hip hop is boring because of Kendrick or for whatever reason it's due to Drake because he's not charting or just not ringing off the same, that's not true at all. I think what it is that it kind of showcases that people were more obsessed with the idea of Drake's popularity over maybe solely just listening to his music. Obviously, we know there's people who love Drake's music, there's people who listen to his music because they enjoy it, and that's fair. But after a while, it just became popular to like and support and be infatuated with the most popular artists. So to me, it became more of a groupthink mentality where it's like Drake is the biggest, we're all happy because he's the biggest, and it's a collective thing. Like in summer 2016 when he was all over the radio, right? When he was all over streaming and he had the highest numbers and the biggest records. Same thing with summer 2018 when he dropped Scorpion. That has now been tainted. The armor has been tainted by Kendrick Lamar, and the general public, for the most part, the widespread consumer, isn't looking or listening to Drake the same way they did years ago. And despite that, he has released so much music. So nothing has really changed. For the fans and the people who really like his music and really appreciate what he's doing, nothing has changed. He's giving you more than enough music. So why isn't that enough? It shouldn't be based on what everyone else thinks about his music. It should be based on what you think about his music. And that kind of, to me, exposes the groupthink mentality that was surrounded around Drake's success, and especially in his later years. It's more about it being the popular thing to do instead of it being about who you genuinely want to listen to because you genuinely like their music. And that's not the case for every single one of his fans, right? But that is the mentality that I'm seeing now, because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be saying hip hop is boring. Drake is still dropping songs that are going on the charts, right? He hasn't gotten the #1 song yet, but he has put out songs since the beef that have gotten on the charts. Nokia had a music video, it had a release, Some Sexy Songs for You had a release, but that isn't enough. So I think it's just more of a popularity thing. People just kind of want to be with what's popular. And now they're mad that he isn't as popular in terms of the consumer perspective as he once was. So it shouldn't matter what we think. It shouldn't matter what anyone else thinks. It should matter what you think and how you genuinely want to listen to music, what you genuinely like. Seems like they don't know what they genuinely like. What they genuinely like isn't genuine. And that's the issue. I don't see how hip hop is boring at all. I'm very satisfied with what we've gotten this year. And I'm looking forward to what else is coming out this year, right? Because the year is about halfway done, right? So there's plenty of time for more releases to come out. The Clips album so far is one of my favorites. I'm having fun with that. So I think if you really just genuinely enjoy listening to hip hop and music and appreciate it for what it is, you wouldn't think that this is a boring time right now. Mind you, when Drake dropped For All the Dogs in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, hip hop was at its lowest statistically, but Drake was at his most popular. So there is push and pull with that. No one person can define the entire genre. No one person should be at the top of the genre, and then if they're not at the very top of the genre is nothing. That's not how we should look at hip hop. I'm trying to figure out what excitement do you need? Like, to be perfectly honest with you personally, and this is just me personally, not for anyone else, I haven't gotten excited for Drake's music in almost 10 years. So I am not in that category of people. And I can imagine that there's other people who feel the same way, just like there's other people who don't feel the same way and they really do get excited for his music. Has it lessened over the years? I think it most definitely has, right? And obviously the beef happened, so that made a massive impact on his image. He took a big L, obviously, and outside of that, I think you also have the lawsuit and all the other actions that are going on exterior to the beef. I think that does a lot of damage to your image, and then people just look at you sour as they have more time to digest what is happening and what has happened. So there are people who feel the same way, but it has lessened. That popularity, that outlook that he had, that perspective that people had of him way before has definitely changed. You can say it's due to the beef. You can say it's due to things that has happened before. You can say it's due to maybe people just not really liking the music or growing up. But I don't think you should be mad at the collective of people, the consumer. You can't be mad at the consumer isn't enjoying the artist that you like the way that they once did. That's really a reflection on the artist. It's not a reflection on the genre. And you can't put that blame on another artist. Kendrick may make music that you may not like. You may prefer Drake's sound and the music that he makes, but it should be on Drake if Drake succeeds. It isn't due to Kendrick. If Drake doesn't succeed and he can't chart and create the same music that he once did, then it's no one else's fault but his own. Pointing blame and being mad that everyone else isn't appreciating the music the way you are is just, like I said, more proof that it was more of the popular thing to do. And I think that's what is hurting his image. A lot of these people that supported your music were general consumers, people who were just everyday music listeners. But now the everyday music listener, for the most part, isn't tuning into what you have to put out currently. We're not talking about your previous streams. We're not talking about your back catalog. Obviously, that's how your numbers stay very high. But with him, his new stuff just isn't sticking as much as it was. So we can't be mad at everyone else because they're not liking the music the way you may like it. And because the general public or whoever else may not like the music they once did, shouldn't matter to you. And it shouldn't dictate how you listen to that person's music either. And that's just how I look at it at the end of the day. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. You guys let me know what you think. Is hip hop getting boring right now? Because I don't think it is, but I guess some people do because Drake isn't getting all the success that he once did before. And despite that, he still has records, but I guess that isn't enough, right? So you guys let me know what you think down below. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. I hope you stay blessed and stay tuned.
Tell me, I don't wanna talk on no selling. You know I got language barriers. It's no accent you can sell me. You're cold and ivory, you know I'm a selfish. The crown is heavy. I pray they ain't my real friends. If not.